back for another episode of the Gold Digger Girl podcast. And I'm so excited today to bring you one of my amazing girlfriends. We are very passionate about a lot of the same things, and I'm just beyond thrilled to bring her to you guys today. So Dr. Elizabeth Rodgers, welcome on. So excited. I could go on and on about how amazing you are, but why don't you take a minute to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you and your background, and then we can get into the topic at hand.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, my friends, I'm so happy and honored to be here today. It's a sheer joy and pleasure. I consider what I do in my work just my divine assignment and my purpose. So I'm just excited to be here and support the amazing people that listen to your show. So in case you don't know me, I am Dr. Elizabeth Rodgers. I am a Harvard-trained health and longevity advisor with a PhD in epidemiology, and I also have degrees in psychology and public health. And, you know, as a researcher, I studied the causes of health issues for years. And after spending over 15 years, now it's over 20 years, which is scary how much time passes, across research, practice, and the healthcare industry. After working in all of those different areas of health, I became very disappointed in how often our system is failing patients. So after my own near-death experience and over a decade-long battle with my own chronic physical, mental, and emotional health issues, I had to put the pieces of my own health puzzle together to heal from the inside out and determine the root causes of why I was still not living in optimal health and well-being. Because I bounced from practitioner to specialist to naturopath to health coach and still felt like a broken patchwork quilt that had no hope of being put back together again, when all I was ever searching for was to feel whole and healthy again. So now in my private practice, it's my honor and joy to work with incredible, powerful, successful leaders who are tired of bouncing from doctor to naturopath to health coach, getting inside of the box answers and no lasting results to find the true root causes of why ever they're not in optimal health and well-being, so they can finally feel their best in mind, body, and spirit.
Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. I mean, first off, you're smarty pants, and we love, research and knowledge and all of that, but you're putting it to good use, which is so powerful. And every time we talk to you, you're like, oh yeah, I was on this TV show and I was published in this thing. Like you're getting out there, and you're sharing what you're learning and discovering and bringing knowledge to the surface and to the average person. And we discussed that my audience is female entrepreneurs, and you have a really special heart for women who can make a difference in this world. And I believe in our lifetime that we do get to change this world by women leading and stepping up for the first time ever in history, which is so powerful.
Yes.
So we were chatting before, but can you share with my women, my ladies, what are you noticing with women? What are we called to do, but what's holding us back? What are you noticing with balancing all the things, juggling all the things, and wanting to be there for everyone, but we know that we're not putting ourselves first? What are you noticing?
Absolutely. I love this question so much, Kimberly, because it hits on a couple of important things that I've noticed, especially over these last 3 years. Now, Kimberly and I were talking before we started the show today, and we were just sharing about how in the last 3 years, let's face it, especially women who are female business owners and entrepreneurs. First of all, there's no such thing as a person in the world now who has not experienced trauma and stress, because over these past 3 years, we have all been through it together, and we've all experienced it in our own unique ways. There's nobody unaffected. And I think that through that time, so many of us had to change our lifestyles, change our businesses in the most unexpected and challenging ways, that now I think it's just become second nature, if it wasn't for us already, to just continue to overserve, overgive, always be looking outside of ourselves, because that's part of, I think, what just makes us have our feminine nature that we do, where we love to give, we love to serve, and we love to do it from our hearts. And that's certainly how I lead and serve. However, I feel very much a shift in the energy, because let's face it, Kimberly, there's two important pieces of epidemiological data that prove that right now, our current systems of stress management, of just managing our health and well-being in general are broken approaches that we need to improve upon. First of all, the life expectancy here in the United States is now the lowest it's been in nearly 2 decades, which is extremely frightening. Second of all, most people, in fact, majority of adults are living daily with two or more chronic health issues. And I think that right now, the world is calling for a change. I think it's calling us as women. And I don't know how many of you listening can feel it and hear it, but I know I certainly feel it in a way I have never felt it before in my life, because there are so many of us and the world needs us. One of my colleagues said recently, my intuition's telling me to share this with you because I think I know it will resonate with Kimberly and all of you listening. And it's that feminine collaboration is the new domination. And I feel, see, you just felt it. You can feel the frequency of that statement. Like I feel it. And that is the truth. But do you know what the world doesn't need, ladies? It does not need us all getting together and leading from a collective place of being burned out, exhausted, stressed out, and not energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally feeling our best. The world needs women and it needs us now. And it needs us whole, healthy, aligned in mind, body, and spirit. But I know that so many of us listening can hear me saying this and recognize that at least in one of those aspects, you don't feel whole and complete today listening here in this moment. And why is that? I think one of the reasons is that because stress became such a normal part of our lives these past 3 years, now it's like ingrained in us. And I think we've been in a way trained to just think that, well, this is just what life is like, right? Stress is just part of life. It's part of being a woman. It's part of being a business owner and a giver and a server. But the truth is that in the busyness and the stress and all of that distraction, the thing we're sacrificing the most is our connection with ourselves. And I think now we're being called as women who lead, who serve, who do it with integrity, and who are doing it here with the intention to make a positive impact in the world. Truly, then it's time for us to come back home. And that is where it starts, which is with each of us. With each of us. How many of us invest in our businesses when we know we don't really feel our best, but it's an easier decision, right? To invest in a sales consultant than it is to invest in somebody like me who's saying, hey, health is actually your natural frequency. And this is a frame shift that Kimberly and I were talking about that I want to share with everybody. If you're out there listening and you don't feel your best today, and I know so many of you don't, I mean, think about it. What's like one of the most common topics of conversation we have with people that we haven't seen for a while when we get together? Oh my God, let me tell you about my mom. She's been a wreck. Oh my gosh, and my hip. Oh my gosh, my back. Do you know I've been getting these migraines? Oh my gosh, my energy. I'm constantly tired. You know, I hardly ever sleep. I'd love to sleep in. I'm so exhausted. I just feel drained all the time. These are the kinds of conversations we just have, but I don't think we're even consciously aware of how important that conversation is, because our health and well-being is the foundation we build our business and success on. So think about how successful each of you have been that are listening, and imagine how much more your business would thrive if you actually felt whole and aligned too.
Oh my gosh, you guys, like, come on. We're probably operating at like 10% of what we could do. Yep. So what would be like, okay, so say someone's listening right now and they're just like, but I don't even know how to get out of my current schedule, my to-do list. Everyone's taking a piece, right? That's how I feel sometimes. Okay, like people are in line just to take a piece, and they're not, but it feels that way because we're giving. Exactly. So what do you do if you're just like, I don't even know where to start? What do you do when you work with women like that? Or what advice would you give today?
Oh, I love that. So if someone came to me and they said, I don't even know where to start, honestly, the first thing I would tell them to do is to just give yourself space. Like literally right now, if you're listening, just close your eyes for a minute and honestly, just take a big, giant, deep breath in and fill your lungs up more than you think you even can, more than maybe you've ever tried to before. And then pause for just a second. See if you can gather up a tiny bit more air. And now just open your mouth and let it all go. And now I just want you to stay still. Maybe you put your hand over your heart for just a moment. But all I want you to do right now, right here, is just be. Because there is a frequency running through you that's your natural state. And you know what that is? Your natural state is your optimal health and well-being. Inside of you right now, your health that thrives, that's aligned in mind, body, and spirit, it's already there. You've just disconnected from it. So I want you to, with your hand over your heart, just being present here in this moment. The first thing that pops into your mind when I ask you this question, you don't have to, you can, I actually love, you can always share feedback with us after the show, but just let what pops into your mind come to mind. Maybe Kimberly will share hers with us. Mm-hmm. And I don't care if it makes sense. I don't care what it is. Don't judge it, whatever the word or phrase is that comes to mind. I just want you to just allow yourself to receive it. If there was one thing and one thing only that you could commit to right here, right now, in this moment, that would help you feel healthy, aligned, and whole, what would that commitment be? And just let yourself receive it. It literally might make zero sense to you. What came to you, Kimberly?
The clearing space in my schedule to be able to go to this adorable yoga studio that's in their town. It's so cute. Every time I walk by, I'm like, you can like see yourself in it. I'm like, that I need to be there.
Can I tell you, I can literally see your energy like glowing as you're telling me this. But do you see how like we can get stuck in the busyness of our minds, and you think, and you will come to me as my client, Kimberly, and say, like, oh my God, Elizabeth, I just want to go to a yoga class. I'm tired. I need help. Like, but I don't even know where to start. But do you see how we actually do know the answers?
Yes.
But part of what has happened all along from childhood up to now is that in a way, society has trained us to give our power away when it comes to our health and well-being. Mm-hmm. So part of my goal through my work, Kimberly, is to help us return back to that place of empowerment, to that place where we remember that there is nobody else on planet Earth who knows you, who knows your body, who knows what you need to be healthy and well better than you. You mm-hmm. know what you need. When we allow ourselves to get quiet and connect to that place, I often tell my clients, like, the answers you're looking for is it's right there in the space in between. But we fill our brains with thoughts because we think like, I'm going to think my way to the answer. But the truth is, if you try to think your way to the answer, you're never going to get there. You have to give yourself space and trust yourself, trust your body, like come back to her and remember that your body is your very best friend. And sometimes I remember the first time I heard that, I just sat on my bed and cried for an hour because I realized, like, oh my God, my body is my best friend. And I'm kind of a crappy friend a lot of the time, mm-hmm. and remembering that it's not selfish. So realizing that we know the answers. I never want to give people an answer because while my intuition and my expertise helps me can give you guidance and say, here's what I'm receiving for you. I think it's so much more powerful when I can help you remember that you know the answer. I'm just going to help you find it.
I love that. Oh my gosh, like that gold, just pure gold. Like you guys, your homework is whatever popped into your mind within the next 7 days, if possible. I'd love to see you implement, which me as well. So I'll be checking in with you and letting you know about yoga. So because we're talking about women leading from the front and tapping in to be able to really become powerful and not fearful, because a lot of the decisions we're making is fear-based.
Absolutely.
I know you personally have gone through this, and I don't know if I feel like you, I don't know, I'm going to have to ask, you don't want to share because I know.
No, I'm an open book. I'll tell anything.
You are an open book. That's why we're so like,
I'm
we're
so
like
transparent.
We're two spiritual beings in a sandbox whenever we are together. So I know that we share the same views on health with the pandemic and all the different things. I was very vocal, especially on my podcast, because I knew I could get away with it. So if you guys want to go back. But I mean, I was researching, I was up till 2 a.m. every night going, oh my gosh, and I was sharing it. But when you think about your experience in your professional career and where you shifted from being afraid a little bit to, no, I'm done being afraid. Do you mind sharing like how you went through that? Because I know there's a lot of ladies here that have fear that's holding them back.
Oh my gosh. I think that's so important to talk about. And it hits on such an important aspect of our health and well-being is when we're not sharing our voices and we're not sharing what we know. We have this calling, like you felt it, right, Kimberly? That's why you were sharing on your show. And I know, I'm happy to share everyone that for the last 3 years, I have been so challenged in ways I have never been challenged before because I'm an epidemiologist. I'm sure most of you know that means one of the things I'm an expert at is quite literally the pandemic and the vaccines. And I'm actually publishing research about those topics. So keep an eye out for that. Nothing's published yet, but manuscripts are all under review by different journals. I think that's one of the biggest things that we can each do for ourselves, literally that serves our health and well-being, not just our businesses. The world put us here for a reason. We all picked to come here, whether you believe that or not, at this transformative time. I mean, we are literally watching history happen before our eyes, you guys. Like it's happening. We are a part of it. And I think that is so fucking scary at the same time because we're watching all the people who are very loud, who make us feel very scared. And that's a very effective tactic. And it's been very effective at scaring a whole lot of people. And it's been stressful even for those of us like Kimberly and I who have held on to our strong belief system. However, you can't avoid the fear that's been everywhere. Mm-hmm. I went through so many phases of this, and I will tell you all, one of the best pieces of advice I could share is take it from a woman who has hidden her voice for way too many years, because all along the way, literally from the time I was in kindergarten, they put me in timeout because they said I was too happy and that was a distraction. That is not a joke. In my doctoral program, they literally took my office away from me, gave it to the male doctoral students and put me in a closet to work. They asked me, did I have to be so enthusiastic? Did I have to use so many exclamation points? Did I have to have so much passion when I spoke?
Oh my gosh.
These are the kinds of, so I literally, before the pandemic, my whole life had people telling me, just turn your light down. Please don't shine so brightly. Do you have to do it? And I guarantee, I know because my intuition tells me that so many of the women and people listening to us right now are nodding their heads and being like, yep, that sounds familiar. I've been there too. And the worst thing we can do now, when we decided to take our power back, to start businesses, to lead the world in our divinely unique ways that nobody but us can do. Nobody can be you the way you can be you. You were divinely meant to come here and shine. I think right now what my job is to shine as brightly as I possibly can. And that's why people like Kimberly and I stick together, because we need each other and we need all of you. And the light, and the brighter we each shine our lights, the more helpful it is on days when maybe Kimberly's light or mine, it's not as easy to shine it. As long as I see that woman shining, I think, all right, there's Kimberly's got her light on. I can crank mine up today. We need you, ladies. Please don't hide your voices. That process for me, though, I will tell you, was so scary. I will tell you where I feel I went wrong along that process is that I didn't reach out to my friends and the people I trusted, like Kimberly. Now, unfortunately, Kimberly and I's friendship didn't start till mid-pandemic. But had I had you in my life before, what I should have been doing was reaching out to those of you who I trusted and saying, here's what I know. Here's what's going on. Here's the research. Here's the evidence. So that way I had somebody who trusted me to say, you should go talk to Pete. You should go tell the world this. The world needs to hear this. People are scared. We need you. So even if it means starting to get the support you need, get support from somebody, even if it's just one person, even if it's just your coach, Kimberly, even if it's just me, we are here to remind you, we need you. We need your voice. Please share it. I think that is so scary. And I think when we repress our voices and we allow ourselves to be driven by fear, we're also staying out of alignment with our true nature and our natural states.
100%.
And that can create, seriously, that can create physical, mental, and emotional symptoms.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I forgot what, if it was the emotion code. I don't know, some documentary. I love just all that. And he was saying, dis-ease, and Bob Proctor said this too, is dis-ease. So it's like dis-ease in the body. So you're not aligned. So if you're doing things like right now, you're at a job you don't love and you're not going after your business,
Yep.
you feel out of alignment, you feel disconnected, and it can manifest as a physical ailment in your body. So
absolutely,
a lot of this is us just not living out our truth, really, is what I'm hearing you say. And I agree.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And there are so many people who come to me, I'm an expert at identifying root causes. And it's why after I left the traditional system, I trained as a medical intuitive and started training in other areas that would allow me to be able to identify all the different kinds of root causes. Because completely a misconception, everyone. And please let me say this, ladies, because I know there's a lot of you listening who've been told this. If you're being told things like inflammation and hormones are the root causes of your health problems, I am so sorry to have to be the one to tell you that that is not true. I want you to think about it like this. Inflammation and hormones, a lot of the things we tell people are the root causes of their problems are actually effects, not causes.
Yeah.
So there's something that's creating a hormonal imbalance in your body. Mm-hmm. There's something that's creating inflammation, an inflammatory response in your body. Your immune system does not attack itself. So if you're being told you have autoimmune types of issues, it's because there's something deeper going on. And honestly, I will tell you, Kimberly, that I have found in my career that the biggest root causes keeping people stuck aren't the toxins and pathogens. Yeah, it's important to know about those. Yes, you need to target them. Yes, we can teach you how to do that. But it's us. We're all standing in our own ways and we have blind spots. And we just need somebody to help show us those different blind spots. And we have to, as open, vulnerable, powerful women who are leaders, we have to be willing to allow somebody to put the mirror up and say, hey, because ladies, did you ever consider, the reason I had you work on commitment today is because the truth is commitment is the bridge between where we are and where we want to be. And we tend to think, oh, well, then that means I need to commit to, all the 20 different habits I know I need to do to be healthy. No, that's why I said today, just pick one thing, commit to that one thing, show yourself that you can commit to that one thing and then build upon it from there. It doesn't have to be this grandiose, like, I have to do it all. That's how I'm going to get where I want to go. But a lot of times the things holding us back are our beliefs and the stories we've heard and the stories we tell ourselves. So I want to share with everybody, there's this question to ask yourself. What is it costing you to hold on to the beliefs that you're holding on to right now that I promise you are part of the reason that you're not feeling aligned and at your best? And sometimes we have to dig to those deeper levels of the surface, under the surface, to figure out, why have I been not feeling worthy my whole life? What's up with that? Why do I do these things? Why do I have these patterns that are in a way kind of self-destructive, even though I intellectually know they're not good for me? I don't want to have negative thoughts, but why can't I just control them? So there's so many things like this that I think are important for people to keep in mind.
Oh my gosh, yes. So for those listening that say, okay, you got my attention, girlfriend. And I know for you and I, we're very energy based. So if you're drawn to Dr. I'm sure you all are because you're my people. What can they find you and start learning more from you, but also potentially work with you? And we'll include that in the show notes. Where do you hang out on social?
So I would be honored to share that. And like Kimberly, I am here to serve. So really, that's all I want to share is it's my honor and very energetic based. So if you feel something, it's certainly not a coincidence. So places you can find me, I have a podcast called The Bridge, a transformational health podcast. And you can find me there. That's one of my new places where I'll be hanging out. And you can really come there to learn a wide range of expertise, experiences, and get all the most transformative knowledge, tools, and expertise from not just me, but Kimberly will be on the show. And I have a lot of other amazing guests to share with you. And I'm really excited. I also have an entirely new suite of services I am offering through my practice. So this is really exciting. I used to only work with clients one-on-one, and I've done that and helped hundreds of women, but I just really feel called to serve in a much bigger way. So now if you head to my website, which is just drelizabethrodgers.com, you can book a consultation. There will be an intake form that will ask you the best questions to help me connect with you more deeply and know what is the very best way for you to start getting my support right now. And you can find me on Facebook, and that's really where I spend most of my time. In fact, ladies, to all of you listening, I just started a Facebook group called the Women's Whole Health Revival, because to be honest, I feel very strongly that as a group of women who are leaders here to make change in the world, and I know that's all of you listening, I feel that it is our time to come together as a group around the collective shared value of health and well-being. So I would love to see you there. So come hang out with us.
I love that. Oh my gosh, you're such a boss. Okay, cool. Well, you're amazing. So thank you for loving my people today and pouring into them, sharing your knowledge, your wisdom, your experience. And I'm so passionate about the work that you're doing. Like, you really are a change maker. You are a light worker. And you're just doing such good work in this world. So please keep shining your light bright. And
I promise I will.
Thank you guys for being here as well. Yeah, and we'll definitely have to have you back. I mean,
I would be honored. Anything you guys want, if there's something I can do that's a specific training or anything to support you guys, I'm here. Just let me know. Yeah,
you guys let us know. DM us and just say, oh my gosh, we would love to hear more about this, and we can set something out.
I'd be honored.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Thank you. All right, guys. Thanks for listening and watching. Until next time, get lit in your business and set your soul on fire. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.